Hey, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're a new viewer. My name is Michelle. Thank you so much for coming by to hang out today. So for today's video, I'm going to be creating this look while talking to you guys about some creepy experiences I've been having in my house here lately. We're going to do a little story time, get ready with me. Might be a little bit of ghost talk, supernatural activity going on. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm not. I'll let you guys be the judge of that. Not only am I going to be playing with some newer products for you, as well as older products, but I'm going to be sharing some creepy experiences with you that have been happening in my house. So, if you like the get ready with me, the story time type of videos, that's what I have for you guys today. I also have footage of said creepy shit. So if you enjoy this content while you're watching, and you like reviews, makeup looks, weird shit, all the above, please make sure you stick around. Hit the subscribe button, ring the notification bell so you don't miss my future uploads. Let's get into this video. Okay, first and foremost, let me just start this off by saying I'm not somebody that fully believes in ghosts and spirits, and I've not had so many life experiences to where, I am dead set, that's what this is. I know that's what this is. I just want to share my experience with you guys, maybe get your all's feedback. I'm trying to disprove what happened to me and trying to explain it in another way because it freaked me the fuck out, quite honestly. So, I'm going to share my little experience with you guys, or experiences with you guys, give a little backstory, and we'll see what you guys think about this. I'm going to be creating a full face of makeup while I talk about this. So, let's get started. Let's start this story. I'm really not going to spend too much time talking about the products I'm using. However, I did grab up a few new things, so I do want to show those before I put them on. The first thing that I grabbed is the Makeup Forever Shine Control Step 1 Primer. This is actually brand new, and I'm almost out of my Smashbox Oil and Shine Control Primer. If you guys watched my Low Buy Rules video, you'll know that I'm not allowed to buy anything new unless it's like a repurchase type of thing when it comes to primers, because I've got so many freaking primers. So instead of buying another one of the Oil and Shine Control, I decided to opt for the new Makeup Forever Shine Control Primer. And hopefully it works out, since I'm not going to be buying my favorite. Don't know if that was a smart move. I guess we'll find out. Anyhow, so let me just start this by saying my house was built in 1937. And oh, that feels weird. And it's burning. Oh, it's burning. Oh, God. Feels like glue. This feels like their other one that they had. They had a step 1 at one point that was like mattifying. It feels just like that. I don't know how I felt about it. It definitely mattified. Okay, let's get on with the story. So, I am going to throw some pictures and some footage in here while I'm talking, just to kind of give you an idea of what I'm working with here. Going into my Pure 4-in-1 Love Your Selfie, this is like a little trial size that I bought because I originally bought the wrong shade, so I wanted to buy one closer to my skin tone to see if I actually liked it. So my house is super, super old, okay? It is falling apart. It's not cute. This is by no means a cute house. It's what I could afford right now. I'm a single parent, and I have 3 kids. And, times are tough. So I rented what I can afford, and this house is by no means modern. It was built in 1937. What I do like about it is it has a really nice yard, a huge yard. It has, my own driveway. It's not in the middle of town. Plus it has a garage, a huge garage. And this garage was, at one point in time, an actual, operating auto garage, which is really cool. There's even, some memorabilia, all around the garage, different newspaper clippings and just all kinds of stuff from a long time ago. But when it comes to the house itself, I don't have that much information on it. I looked. I tried to do some research and find anything did people die here? This house is almost 100 years old, so I'm pretty sure there's been some deaths here. Or, maybe not. I don't know, but that's what I would assume. If it's that old, then more than likely. But I don't know that much about this house to really speak too much on its history. And I've tried. I've looked. I've dug. I couldn't find anything. The only thing I know is that at one point in time, there was a guy that lived here, and he operated an auto garage out of the garage in my backyard, because it's huge. So that's pretty cool. I thought that was neat. I kind of like older houses. They have character. I feel like modern houses are kind of just cold and uninviting. I mean, I guess they can be warm if you kind of decorate them that way or whatever, but older houses just have this appeal to me. I like that. But this one in particular, again, is falling apart. They've remodeled it probably several times to make it rentable, but it definitely needs some work done. So the first thing that I noticed when I first moved in here, that was a little bit of a what the fuck moment, in my basement, and I will pop up a picture right here for you. In my basement, the word scream is spray painted on my wall. You know, I don't know if some kid did that, just being stupid, or if something sinister was happening in my basement. Like, I don't know. All I know is when I saw that when I first moved in, I was like, cool. My basement is just not, we don't hang out down there, okay? There's been water damage down there. The foundation's cracked. Like, it's not a fun place to be. I'm sure you can tell by the picture I showed you. Not exactly a part of my house that I want to spend any kind of time in. It looks like my basement at one point in time was like a fully finished living area, but I'm assuming because of the water damage, it's unlivable. You can't live down there now. It's just not, it's not safe. And then the attic is rather large, but the floorboards in the attic are dangerous. They feel like they could give out at any minute. There's like holes in the roofing. I'm pretty sure there's been birds up in my attic while I've been living here. It's just an old house and it's falling apart. That's the kind of picture I'm trying to paint for you, so you kind of get a visual. I didn't really want to show like the outside of my house in too much detail because I don't want people knowing where I live. I'm pretty sure it has like the original hardwood floors in here because they're stained. Like, there's a particular stain in my room and I'm like, is that a blood stain? It's like a large dark stain. I don't know what the hell it is. Anyhow, it's an old house and there are some creepy qualities to it. There's a lot of noises that are made in this house, and I've always attributed it to being like, well, you know, it's an old house, and it's probably settling, and it's the branches outside beating off the roof, and whatever. That's looking really nice. Upon first moving in here, like I said, there was just a few things that just kind of felt a little off. I was like, I don't really like that, that's a little creepy, but you know, it's an old house. I guess that's kind of to be expected. My daughter has made the mention to me several times she feels like somebody's watching her or gets that kind of like uneasy feeling. I've felt like that before in this house. But again, we all, I think, have felt like that at times, or at least I know I have. And it's just, I didn't really think much of it. All right, I'm just putting a little bit of that Becca Under Eye Brightening Corrector on. This has seriously become probably one of my favorite makeup products. It's insane because I did not like this at first. So there's just been little things that have happened, you know, since moving in here that kind of creep me out. Kind of make me feel like maybe, just maybe, this house might be haunted. Like, I wasn't sure whether I wanted to get on here and talk about this or not, because I feel like if I talk about it and I fully buy into what I'm saying, then it'll make things worse. Then I'll start noticing other things, or I don't know. It just gives me this uneasy feeling. But like I said, everyone except for my oldest son, who I think just really truly just doesn't believe in that kind of stuff, which is fine, has felt some type of way in this house at some point or another. And there's been times where I was laying in bed at night and I swore I heard music. And of course, I didn't know whether that was in my head or if I was really hearing it, or if it was the neighbors. Like, I just tried to explain it away as, it's the neighbors. The neighbors are playing music. But I swear to you, it was not the neighbors. Like, it was this really faint, almost to the point where I thought it was in my head. I thought that I was hearing shit. Just this really faint music. And it wasn't like, it's not even music that I can identify. I don't know how to explain it. It was just a very faint song that I was hearing, and nothing like current or modern or anything like that. It was just instrumental type of music, and it was very soft. And I've heard this at least 3 or 4 times when going to bed, and it's the same sound of music, if that makes any kind of sense. And again, honestly, I thought it was in my head. I thought that I was just hearing shit. I was tired. I was laying there in bed. I thought I was hearing things. But now with, other things that have happened, I'm not so sure. All right, now that I have that Becca Under Eye Brightening Corrector laid down, I want to take the Stay Naked Correcting Concealer from Urban Decay, and I'm going to use this to really brighten up that under eye area, maybe the center of my forehead, and we'll continue chatting. So, I've had things fall off my shelves in my kitchen before, and it's usually like a pack of bagels, which is round, so I'm like, nah, it just rolled. So in my room is where the actual attic door is, and you would think that it's like an extra room because it's an actual door, same size as like my regular door, and it leads up to the attic, and that door from time to time will pop open. I don't know how. I mean, you have to turn the knob and open it for it to pop open, so I have no idea how it's opening, and not open all the way, but it'll be enough to where the door is popped, and it's sitting a little bit like somebody opened the door, like someone turned the knob and pulled on it a little bit. So that, makes me a little uneasy. I don't like that. But then again, I've always attributed it to, well, maybe it's because of the draft. It is drafty upstairs. Again, from there being holes in the attic and, outside air being able to get in. So maybe it's because of that. I always try to explain away everything that's happened because I don't want to freak out. And I don't want to feed into it either. But the particular story that made me want to sit down and film this for you guys is something kind of on a whole nother level, and I don't know how to explain it. The next thing that I'm going to use is the Huda Beauty setting powder. Mine is in the shade Pound Cake. Love this setting powder. So from my room, I can right now, the way I'm filming, I've got my vanity behind me, but typically I'm sitting at my vanity and I would be facing the opposite way. And when doing that, I can look this way and I can see my daughter's door. She's got two doors to her room. There's one on this side. There's one on the other side of her room. Now, the one that separates my room from her... Oh, and there's a bathroom in between my room and her room. But the door that separates my room from her room, basically, usually she has shut. So, back around, I don't know, maybe 8 months ago or so, my brother was staying here for a while, and he bought her this, marked down Easter basket from Walmart, and it had, a little generic doorbell in it. It's got a little flower. Again, I'll pop up pictures. It's got a flower. And then, of course, a cord going to a little button to where you can ring a doorbell. Do you know where this is going? So before I go any further with the story, I wanted to share with you what I'll be using because I don't want to have to keep stopping. It gets distracting and then I lose my place of what I was talking about. So I'm going to be using the Smashbox Cali Contour Palette for my contour. And I'm going to be using the shade right up here in the corner. Beautiful contour shade for a fair skin tone like me. So recently from TJ Maxx, I picked up the Marc Jacobs Beauty Bronzer. This one's in Tantric. I really wanted I just looked up the name of it. The other shade, Tantastic. I wanted to get that one, but it's been out of stock on Sephora, and they didn't have it at TJ Maxx, so I got this one instead, and in all honesty, it's not a bad bronzer shade for me, but I do feel like it is a tad bit too warm, so I'm probably going to go over top of it with the NARS bronzer. This one's in Laguna. And this one I've had for quite a while. It's just a little mini, but it's a little bit more neutral. Actually, it does lean a little bit reddy. It has that red undertone to it, which I really like, but it's not so orange. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be laying down the bronzer. I also have a palette that I'm going to be sharing with you guys. As I was filming, the FedEx guy dropped off a package. It is the new Natasha Denona Mini Love palette. I do have her midi size Love palette that I really enjoy. And I like this color story, so I wanted to pick it up and share it with you guys. So this doorbell that I'm speaking about, we've had it up for quite a while. It is battery operated, and we really don't ever use it. So it's not like we're using it all the time and the battery's probably dying. We very rarely use this doorbell. Usually when we're just messing with each other. The only way to get this doorbell to go off is by pushing the little button to make it ring. I'm going to go ahead and put a lip balm on. This one is from Bali Balm. Is that the name of the brand? Bali Balm? I think so. Maybe that's the name of the product. It's a sweet orange and coconut lip balm. This was in the January BoxyCharm. It smells so delicious. I want to eat it. It smells so good. But anyway, I just want to let you know that's what I was putting on the lips. Smells so good. It's got a peppermint scent to it too. Love it. So every now and again, that doorbell will go off by itself. And there was really no rhyme or reason to it. It would just go off by itself. Different times throughout the day, and it wasn't that often. It was probably I don't know, maybe once every few weeks or something, it would just go off randomly. And every time it would happen, I would ask my kids, I'm like, why are y'all messing with me ringing that damn doorbell? And they're like, Mom, we didn't touch the doorbell. And again, like I said, the only way to get this doorbell to ring is by pushing that little button, which is in my line of sight. I can see it from my door. So if there's nobody over here to push it, nobody pushed the button. Because there's no way to make it go off on the actual box itself, like the sound box. So, about, I don't know, maybe like a week ago, my son and my daughter, my youngest two, were in his room, which is like across the hallway from her room. And I was in here, what was I doing? I think I was at my vanity. Maybe I was doing my makeup. I don't remember what I was doing. I think I was getting ready for work or something. And it was like in the afternoon, and I heard them like come out of the bedroom, and I stood up to go out, and I heard the doorbell go off, and then they came walking down the hallway, which is not right by the doorbell. So I was like, my first thought was, you guys pressed the doorbell. I'm like, did you guys just push that doorbell? No, I swear we didn't. We were just coming out of, his room. I'm like, well, what the hell? It just went off. They're like, well, we didn't push it. So again, this has done this a couple times before, and I'm like, whatever, it's random. There's probably a short in the wire. Who knows? You know what I mean? Electronics can be funny sometimes. So we all just kind of played it off. But we've also kind of joked about it too, like, ooh, ghosts. You know what I mean? There's spirits in here, and there's ghosts like pushing the doorbell. By the way, do you know how difficult it is to do a story time while you're doing your makeup? Because I am struggling. See, that doesn't look that bad. It's a little bit orange. It's a little, warm tone, but I am going to go over top of it with that NARS bronzer. I debated on whether I should just show you the video of what I'm talking about or explain it to you. And I think I'm going to do both because I want you to understand the backstory and how this happened. So, hopped off camera, did the eyebrows, put a little bit of the Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadow primer on. You guys are going to see plenty of people doing dedicated videos to this palette, so I wanted to do something different and just kind of play with it while talking with you guys about my haunted house. Before we do that, let's jump into the Moon Prism Blush Palette from Lunar Beauty. I don't even know what I'm going to use. I'm going to dip back and forth into a couple shades, and we're going to throw some blush on the cheeks. So, the creepy incident in question happened about a week ago. And, again, my kids were coming down the hallway, the doorbell went off. I was like, oh, ghosts, whatever. Well, didn't go off the rest of that evening. Didn't hear it at all. Maybe I just wasn't listening for it. I don't know, but we didn't hear it. The next morning, it was super early, about 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm sitting in my vanity chair getting ready for work, which again is right behind me. And again, you can see that door where the doorbell is from where I'm sitting in my vanity chair. And I'm getting ready for work. Everybody else, actually, there was only one other child here, and he was in the very, very front room sleeping. So, nobody up but me. Super early. And my cat is sitting on the end of my bed right here. So, you guys can kind of see in the mirror. My bed's here. He can also see that area if he's laying on my bed, okay? Well, as I'm getting ready, I noticed my cat is standing on the end of my bed, and he's like this. And he is just staring right at that door. And I mean, he's like, you can tell when a cat sees something or when they're like, they heard something or they're at like attention, because he's on all fours and he is leaned forward and he is just staring at that door. And I'm staring at him because I'm like, what the hell are you staring at? So for a good like 45 seconds, this is happening where he's just staring at that door. And I can remember saying out loud, what the fuck are you looking at? Because it was freaking me out. I'm like, did he hear something? Is he looking at something? And something just, I had this feeling like you need to get out your camera. You need to get out your phone and you need to record because something's going to happen. Ooh, I love that. I know it's overboard, but oh, hot damn, I love that. Yes. God, I love this palette. So anyway, I pull out my camera and I am going to insert that footage here. But something just told me that doorbell was going to ring. So, as soon as I stand up to go out my door, the doorbell rings. And of course I'm like, I was officially freaked out. So, again, I'm going to include that here for you so you can see what I'm talking about. What the fuck? Okay, pretty creepy, right? So again, one could say totally coincidental. But again, I can't stress to you enough how I felt before it happened. Like, I knew it was going to happen, which is why I pulled out my phone and started recording. The way the cat was acting, the way it made me feel, I felt like something was over there. I know I sound crazy, and again, I'm not even that, like, convinced that that's what this was, but it creeped me out nonetheless. So I was, like, stuck in that chair for a good 20 minutes and could not move after this happened because I was scared. I don't know what the hell caused that, but it truly creeped me out. It gave me the heebie-jeebs. All right, I'm going to continue with this little story time, but I'm also going to start playing with my Natasha Denona Mini Love palette. I know I want to use this really beautiful duochrome on the outside here. It's so pretty. I don't know if I can get it to shift for you. I know I want to use that. I'm going to use the two mats here and build those up. I don't know what else I want to do. I'm just going to play a little bit while I talk to you guys. So the evening after this happened, you know, that morning I'm creeped out. I'm kind of thinking about it all day. It just got in my head. When it was time to go to bed, I just didn't feel right. I don't know. I just didn't feel right. I was wigged out, still thinking about it, just because it was so weird that it happened right when I stood up. So anyway, that specific instance where, like, it would go off when I would stand up to go out my room had actually happened a couple times before this instance. I just didn't even think about it. Like, it was coincidental, weird that it kind of happened as I was trying to walk out of my bedroom. But when that happened that morning, it reminded me that there was a morning when I was going to go wake up my daughter for school. And as soon as I stood up from my vanity chair to go out my door, the doorbell went off before I could even walk out the door. So I remembered it happened then. And it had happened like that one other time where it just kind of randomly went off as I was trying to, like, get up and walk out of my room. So the more I'm thinking about this, you know, it's manifesting all day. I'm thinking about it. It's creeping me out. But that night when I laid down to go to sleep, I just had that creepy feeling. Like, I came in my room, and normally I leave the door open. That way the cat can come in and out, but I was exhausted. I just wanted to get some sleep, so I shut the door. And so it was pitch dark in here. And when I laid down to go to sleep, this is going to sound so stupid, but I was laying down to go to bed, and it felt like somebody was right here next to my face. Like, I could feel somebody's eyes on me. I know that sounds nuts, but I promise you that's what it felt like. It felt like there was somebody laying in bed with me and they were staring at my face. They were this close to my face. That's what it felt like. I was thoroughly creeped out. It took me forever to go to sleep. Finally, I convinced myself it was nothing and I went to sleep. So the way she has this set up is "You Are My True Love." That's the names of the shadows. How cute. So I'm going to dip into the shade R right here. So keep in mind, after that morning when the doorbell went off, like, randomly, when I was trying to get up from my vanity chair, it didn't go off the rest of the day. Not that I was aware of. I did come to work, so maybe it went off while I was at work. I don't know. But I know that when I got home from work, it didn't. It didn't go off at all. It didn't go off all evening, actually, which I thought was a little weird, because you would think if it was like a low battery issue or a short in the wire, then it would go off a little bit more sporadically and not just, you know, when I'm going to walk out of my bedroom. So the next morning I had to be up early again for work, and I sit at my vanity chair every morning before I go to work because I do my makeup every day. So I got up a second ago because I heard something as I was telling this story to you guys, and I thought it was my son coming out of his room or my daughter coming in the door, but I went out in the living room and there's no movement, there's nothing. And I looked down and there's a box of, like, breakfast biscuits on the floor that were on the shelf. Like, I don't know how they got on the floor. It just kind of creeped me out that we're having this conversation about these weird things that are happening, and a box of breakfast biscuits falls off the shelf. Like, there's nothing, like, sure, it could have been maybe a little on the edge and it fell off, but I'm telling you it was not. So anyway, before I was rudely interrupted, the next morning I'm in my bedroom and I'm getting ready, and of course I've got this stuff fresh on my brain. I'm already kind of wigged out because of what happened the day before and how I felt the night before. So I'm already, like, thinking about that, and I'm creeped, and I'm just thinking to myself, like, please don't do it again this morning, because I just didn't like the way it was making me feel. That doorbell ended up going off like 3 separate times. I got up to go out the door to get my coffee. It went up as soon as I stood up. I came back in and sat down, was doing something else. I got up again to go into the bathroom. It went off again. Almost poked myself in the eye. So I'm kind of like frozen still. I'm sitting in my chair, I'm frozen still, kind of wigging. I'm like, let me pull out my phone again because it's probably going to do it again. So I pulled out my phone and I will insert the clip here of what happened again. Quit fucking with me. That's the third time it's done it this morning with me getting up from this chair. So as you can see in the clip, every time I would stand up from my chair, that stupid doorbell would go off. So, after that had happened, I kept racking my brain trying to figure out what am I doing that's making this go off? Because, I'm a logical person. I like to think about things and be able to explain things, and I try to think with reason, and I couldn't figure it out. I kept telling myself maybe there was a sensor on it, and when I would stand up, I was somehow blocking the light from in here, and it was making it go off. I don't know. I still don't know. But I got home that evening, and I was showing the video to my kids, and of course, maybe I shouldn't have because then it had them a little spooked. But I felt like I was going crazy. Like, am I going crazy? Is this just me? So I show the video to my 17-year-old, and I'm like, the house is haunted. Like, look what happened. It's ghosts ringing the doorbell, and he's like, yeah, okay, Mom, whatever. So he's trying to be, he's trying to think about this from a logical standpoint, and he's telling me maybe there's a wire that's loose, maybe the batteries are going dead, and those are all things that I had thought too. So my 14-year-old has the sound box in his hand, and he's looking at the wires, and my daughter's standing there, and she's trying to like take it out of his hands, and they get into like a little scuffle, and he gets mad, and he throws it at the couch, and he goes running out the back door. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. I don't want y'all fighting over something stupid. So I get ready to go out the back door to go tell him to come inside, quit being ridiculous, get your ass in the house. And when I go to turn the doorknob to go out back to tell him, it's stuck. It doesn't turn. So I'm thinking he's on the other side of the door holding it, being dumb, like just being silly and playing a joke on us. So I'm like, Devin, let go of the door. So I go to turn it again, and it turns easy, and I pull it open. Ain't nobody there. Call it coincidence, call it what you will, but my doorknob never sticks like that. So I don't. It's just too creepy. Too creepy. Too much too creepy in one day. So I don't know what the hell it is. If it's all coincidence. I don't know if I have spirits, ghosts, whatever. I don't know if I'm going crazy and it's all in my head, although that doesn't really explain the video, does it? So you tell me, what do you think? Do you think I'm nuts? Do you think I have ghosts? Do you think it's all coincidental? I would love to hear your feedback down below. Okay, now that I have that laid down, I'm going to dip into the shade My, which is this really deep, like plummy shade. I hope this video makes sense because it's been kind of difficult for me to tell a story while I'm doing my makeup, while I'm thinking about how I'm going to add these little video clips in here. Hopefully it makes sense. Ooh, I was not expecting that. I'm going to blend that out. We'll come back and figure out what to do about the lid. Yeah, so I just don't like what it represents, like ringing the doorbell, like let me in. Oh, like just thinking about that seriously wigs me out. Y'all probably think I'm crazy. It's okay. If I would have known that this was going to pull so purple, I wouldn't have grabbed this. And the pink packaging will throw you off a little bit because it makes it look more pink than what it is. But these two shades here are definitely purple. And you could tell on the lids, they're purple. I did swatch the two pink shimmers, and I'm not exactly like gagging. Okay, so this one here is just a regular pink shimmer, and this one is more like a topper. It's pretty transparent. See it? Okay, I don't know what to do. I guess I'm going to take this pink here and pack that on the outer edge and then try to do the topper on the inner portion. It's not my favorite, if I'm just being totally honest. Okay, I'm going to hop off of here and I'm going to do the lower lash line. I'm going to get some mascara on, throw a lip on. I'm going to wrap up my thoughts on, well, for one, on the Natasha Denona Mini Love palette, as well as my ghostly experience, and we will be finished with this video. I took the ColourPop Lippy Pencil, this one's in the shade Shot Clock, lined the lips, and then I filled in with the Bite Beauty, what is this? Amuse Bouche lipstick in Rhubarb. It's just a little mini that I got quite a long time ago. That's what that looks like. That's the main color that you see on the lips. And then I went kind of like I tried to do like an ombre effect. I was trying to be fancy. It didn't really work out for me that well. And I used a bunch of other things. So that's where we're at so far. The last thing that I really want to apply to the face is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Iced Out Highlighter. When I first saw this highlighter launch, I fell in love with the way the packaging looked. I liked the white packaging. And then the highlighter itself, just the design in it, it's shifty and it's like white and gold. It's beautiful. It doesn't really go along with this look that well, but I'm going to use it anyway. I have used this before off camera, so this is not like my first impression. It's really beautiful. It actually reminds me a lot of the Kaleidos Solar Sailor. Like a lot. Because it has kind of like that yellow reflect to it. Very similar. But I wanted to wear it for you guys today so you could see it if you are, you know, considering picking it up. I feel like this is more of an anti-Valentine's Day look. It's more like purple and like black and sultry. More so than it is like an actual Valentine's Day look. But look, I love it. I love the highlight, love the cheeks. I don't hate the eye look. Let's go ahead and recap really quickly. So when it comes to the Natasha Denona Mini Love palette, I'm not that impressed with it. If I'm just being 100% honest, I wasn't expecting this kind of look. And I could have gone a different way with it. I could have just used like the main, like the lighter shade here and did something else with the shimmers. But that's, when I see this palette, this is the look that like immediately comes to my mind. I'm not a very creative person. And I think for like the everyday consumer, this is probably something similar to what would pop into your mind. And this is just my opinion. If you were looking at this palette and trying to create an eye look. If you're looking for something simple, this is just the kind of look that popped in my head. So, I don't know. If I would have watched some reviews of this first and seen like the eye looks that were created with it, and I haven't watched any reviews on it yet because I didn't want my opinion and my review to be swayed. I think if you have the regular, I was going to show you the midi size Natasha Denona Love palette, but my cat knocked it on the floor and currently all of the pans are out everywhere. So I don't even know what shade is which, and it's just, there's powder everywhere. So I feel like if you have that palette, you really don't need this one. I'm just not thrilled with the formula. I don't know what it is. I love Natasha Denona shadows, but this pink here, I was not impressed. Like, it's just a little bit, like it's shimmery, but it's a little powdery. It's definitely a satin. It's just nothing, it's nothing extraordinary. It just depends on what you're looking for. If you go into buying this knowing that that's how it's going to apply, and that's how these shadows perform, then I feel like it'll be fine if you know what to expect. But I didn't know what to expect, and I just was expecting something different. So, kind of regretting that purchase, if I'm just being 100% honest with you. Alright, so let's wrap up my thoughts on this little supernatural experience that I shared with you guys today. I don't really know what to think about it. I don't know whether to think that it's completely coincidental, and because this stuff is like in my head, and I'm like thinking about it a lot because of the way things went down. I don't know if it's because of that. It's freaking me out. And that's why I'm like attributing every little thing to ghost, you know, or if my house is really haunted. So I don't know. I hope you guys found this amusing, if nothing else. I know this was a little bit of an odd video mixing like new makeup, full face of nothing new, story time, ghosts, like this was an oddball video. So thank you guys so much for sticking around. If you made it to the end, I appreciate it. If you did make it this far but you haven't already hit that subscribe button, I hope you consider doing that before leaving. If you do, don't forget to hit that notification bell so you don't miss all my future uploads, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye.